Ever heard of a game so bad it's good? Well, let's talk about a game so bad it was bad. Picture this, an ambitious game developer, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready to make their mark on the gaming world. They had a vision, a grand idea, but alas, the execution was more of a nightmare than a dream. The game was riddled with bugs, the design was as lackluster as a rainy Monday morning, and the story? Well, let's just say it wasn't exactly a page-turner. The game was a disaster, a train wreck in slow motion, but it did gain some notoriety, becoming infamous for its glaring mistakes and missteps. In a twisted turn of events, it became a symbol, a beacon of what not to do in game development. So, the moral of the story is we can all learn from our mistakes, or better yet, from others' mistakes. Let's dive in. Picture this, a game developer, excited about their new project, disappears off the face of the earth. Sounds like a mystery novel, doesn't it? But this isn't fiction. It's a real-life case study that serves as a cautionary tale for all game developers out there. Let's take a look at the story of our vanishing developer. This developer, let's call him John, had an innovative idea for a game. John was buzzing with excitement, eager to bring his vision to life. But as the saying goes, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and John was about to learn this the hard way. John started his journey without a detailed plan, believing his passion and creativity were enough to carry him through. As he dove headfirst into coding, he soon hit a wall. He realized he had underestimated the complexity of game development. His code was messy and unorganized, making it difficult to identify and fix bugs. The game was riddled with glitches that he didn't know how to rectify. Meanwhile, John was also struggling with communication. He had a small team, but there was no clear structure or hierarchy. Tasks were not being assigned effectively, leading to confusion and delays. Everyone was working in silos, leading to a lack of cohesion in the game's development. Technical issues were the final nail in the coffin. John's game was ambitious, but he didn't have the technological know-how to support it. The game's graphics were subpar, the controls were clunky, and the overall gameplay was far from smooth. As the problems piled up, John became overwhelmed. He started to pull away from the project, his enthusiasm replaced by frustration and stress. Eventually, he disappeared from the project altogether, leaving his team in the lurch. And just like our developer, the game vanished into thin air. A cautionary tale for all game developers out there. Remember, passion and creativity are important, but they're not everything. Without proper planning, effective communication, and a solid understanding of technology, even the most exciting game idea can end up disappearing, just like our vanishing developer. Chapter 1. Organization. Picture this. A group of bright, passionate developers, diligently working away on their magnum opus. They have spent countless hours crafting a game they're proud of, ready to unveil their masterpiece to the world. In their enthusiasm, however, they overlook one crucial component: understanding their target audience. This, my friends, is the first stumbling block, the lack of proper organization. Chapter 2. The ills of wrong social marketing. Having overlooked their target audience, the developers launch a promotional campaign that, unbeknownst to them, rubs their audience the wrong way. Maybe it's a tone-deaf ad that misses the mark, or perhaps it's a controversial character design that sparks a social media uproar. Whatever the case, the game is now embroiled in a controversy that dwarfs its actual gameplay and story. This is the unfortunate aftermath of misdirected social marketing. Chapter 3. The fallout of broken promises. The expectation of the game being their best work, their magnum opus, begins to crumble. The controversy not only overshadows the game, but it also raises questions of credibility and trust. The developers had promised an immersive experience, but it was overshadowed by marketing missteps. This is the consequence of broken promises. Chapter 4. The oversight of not prototyping. In their rush to launch, they overlooked the importance of prototyping their promotional campaign. Had they taken the time to test a sample of their advertisements on a subset of their audience, they may have caught the tone deafness or the offensive character design before it was too late. This chapter, therefore, highlights the importance of prototyping in game development. Chapter 5. The peril of inadequate testing. As they say, hindsight is 20/20. The developers now realize the importance market research, empathy, and testing. Understanding your target audience and their values, interests, and sensitivities is an invaluable part of marketing. If they had tested their campaign more rigorously, they might have avoided the controversy entirely. Therefore, this final chapter underlines the critical nature of adequate testing before launching a game. And that, my friends, is a cautionary tale of how not to market your game. Let's take a trip down memory lane to the land of endless development cycles and scrapped projects, also known as development hell. This is the place where game ideas, no matter how innovative or promising, get trapped in a perpetual cycle of tweaks, changes, and revisions. From small indie developers to big-name studios, no one is immune to its fiery clutches. So what exactly is this development hell? Imagine working on a project that seems to have no end, constantly changing, evolving, but never reaching completion. It's like painting the Golden Gate Bridge. By the time you finish one end, the other end needs a fresh coat. Sounds fun, right? But why do projects get stuck here? The reasons are as diverse as the games themselves. Sometimes it's due to a lack of clear direction or scope creep, where the game keeps expanding beyond its initial concept. Other times it might be due to technical issues or team conflicts. Take the infamous case of Duke Nukem Forever. Originally announced in 1997, the game didn't see the light of day until 14 years later, in 2011. Multiple engine changes, team reshuffles, and a ballooning budget turned it into a poster child for development hell. So how do we avoid this infernal pit? Firstly, clear and realistic goals are crucial. Knowing what you want to achieve and having a plan to get there can keep your project on track. Secondly, don't be afraid to cut features that aren't working or are taking too much time. Remember, perfection is the enemy of good enough. Lastly, maintain open communication within your team. Misunderstandings and conflicts can easily derail a project, so keep those lines of dialogue open. To sum it up, avoiding development hell requires a clear vision, a willingness to make tough decisions, and effective communication. It's not easy, but with these tools in your arsenal, you're well equipped to tackle any development challenges that come your way. Remember, a game delayed may eventually be good, but a rushed game is forever bad. So what have we learned from these tales of game development gone wrong? Well, it's clear that a well-thought-out plan is your best friend. Keeping those communication lines open and clear is crucial, and understanding your audience is paramount. And remember, good things take time, so don't rush your development process. So go forth, game developers, and may your games be epic, your development smooth, and your mistakes, well, let's hope they're at least funny.